the topic for the program today is actually youth as the workforce and the backbone of development in Nigeria. Some people say the youth of Nigeria has nothing to offer, while some pundits say they still have something to offer. So sit back there. We'll be having some discussions here, and we're having some guests also that will be joining us into the Zoom. And wherever you're watching, this is from my own time here, it's 5:08, and in Nigerian time it's actually 2:08. And the major speaker here is the comrade Abdul Rahim Al-Qasim. Is an entrepreneur. He's based in Yobe State, and we also have another guest speaker of who is Mazi Ezioke, right? Mike, can I see you? Can you indicate? Can you indicate? Let me see you. I can only see the background. I would like to see the Mazi right now. Hello. Okay, good.
Yeah, that's right. Sorry.
Okay. Okay, we set the ball rolling. So okay. But before we go into the meat of actually the program, I would like to read the profile of two of our guests, which is I have with me Adidion Okong, that's the founder, and this Candice. She's a graduate of economics from Convent University and holds a master's degree in international development from the University of Bath, with years of professional experience in investment banking and financial advisory at the BGL PLC. She's an entrepreneur, and I also have sorry, I beg the pardon, I just had to get this. Collins Opara. I have Collins Opara. Collins Opara is an operations management, and he's worked with Vega Sirius Nigeria Limited. He's got a wealth of experience in the oil industry and gas industry, and he's going to also be lending his wealth of experience here on this platform. So let's set the ball rolling. Let me start with Collins. Collins, can you hear me?
Yes, Hamid, I can hear you.
Okay, so Collins, you're based in Lagos, right?
Yes.
Okay, how is the pandemic before we now go into the meat of this program today? How's Lagos right now?
The country is easing off the lockdown slowly, and people are getting back to their lives. Not being an easy one for everyone. We heard, of course, it was in the news what was happening in Lagos during the lockdown, and what was happening to Lagos during the lockdown, the criminal activities and the burglaries and the youth restiveness and all that. We are creating a lot of issues for Lagos State. But the state has been able to manage all of this, and we are coming out of the lockdown, and up till now, Lagos is still the ground zero, is still the most important place to monitor when it comes to the COVID-19 pandemic. But we are keeping up. We are all trying to get around the post-COVID era so that it can be better for everybody. That's it, I mean.
I you that question because Lagos is actually one of the most populous states in Nigeria, with a population of over 20 million, still counting. And we know the size of Nigeria, we have a very huge amount of youths who make a sizable population of that country. Why is it that the youth of Nigeria are not making impact?
Okay, first, it's a lot of things. I would want to, first of all, look at what we would be calling youth here, because, we are an interesting country, and our definitions are not usually the same definitions with the people who borrow some of the words in English dictionaries from. you will find somebody who is about 70 years old, and the person is the head of youth activity or youth ministry in Nigeria. You know, it's funny. So first, I will look at it from two ways: youth, the young young people, and the next other youth will be the young at heart. And so I think we are talking about the young people, right, Hamid? That's what we are looking at, the young people.
Actually, you should know that.
And
hang on. Let me throw the question to Andy, and I want to feel Andy's opinion also, because this is, you know, you give me your own, and I'm still going to give my own, but I don't have a say here. I'll be throwing questions at you. Andy, the question, do you think, what's your own opinion of the youth? Could you please unmute Andy right now? Andy, can you hear me?
Yes, I can hear you clearly.
Okay, what's your own take on the issue of the youth in Nigeria? You can see Collins was trying to give me a definition of the youth in Nigeria.
Yeah, I definitely agree with Collins in that it's a thing of contention in Nigeria, because youth are defined as is convenient for this country, to be honest. There's sometimes you see youth, especially maybe in politics, that they try to define it as 40 years, from 18 to 40 years. And in some other cases, maybe in meeting with global standards or world standards, we mark it at 35, and sometimes it's marked at 18 to 30. So it's something that actually fluctuates. So it's great that he started from that point of, for the sake of this conversation, we actually need to define who qualifies as a youth in Nigeria.
But I think, do you have to wait for people to give you a definition of yourself, or you need to stand and say, yes, I am a youth, this is what I'm a, which is one of the reasons I give kudos to this platform. Because you do not have to wait for people to say, this is the definition of you. Like Andy, I can say, Andy, you're female. You should tell me, as you see me, I am female, and I represent the female folk. So you don't have to be the one to tell me. That's one of the reasons we have older people in the country actually occupying youth roles, and they'll be in their 50s. How do we reconcile that? How do you
yeah, but that is what you are agreeing to, that people should be able to define being a youth for themselves. If I'm 45 years old and I still feel young, then hey, I'm a youth. That's basically what you're saying. And no, there has to be a standard.
No, that's not what I'm saying.
Well, for the record, 45 does not qualify as a young person, please.
No, I'm saying, you know, it's like a misnomer that's actually happened in Nigeria. The youth, majority of them are like from maybe 18 to 35. What they see is they still want to, they still have this youthful exuberance in them, and they don't want to take responsibility. In the UK, in the US, you see youth, teenagers making.
Yeah, let me come in. Why I started?
My thoughts, because we will go into that. That's one of the reasons why I would have loved if this platform was actually a musical platform or a reality TV. You will see lots of them. It won't be 15 as participants right now. Do you understand what I'm saying? So we shouldn't be blaming those people at all. We should blame ourselves. I was expecting to see like even 1,000 to 2,000 people. Do you get what I'm saying?
Well, that's highly dependent on what platform you promoted your event on. That doesn't exactly have to do.
I cannot allow females to actually joining them.
May I make a comment?
Yes, please do.
Okay, the definition of who a youth is a mindset with a particular group of people, demography, in my own opinion. Collins, how you did? So you see, so when you say someone is a youth, okay, a youth is not a definition by age, a number. It's a definition of your viralness, your strength, your ability to make an input, your enthusiasm. Okay, you rightly said that people between the demography of 18, they are not here because they don't have the interest. They don't have the interest. They are not motivated enough to be here. and it is not their fault, largely.
Sorry,
So who is a youth? Who is a youth? A youth.
Hang on.
Can I say something? Let me finish. Who is a youth? A youth.
Finish. I want to say something. I want to say because this for other audience who are not actually from your country, I think from Nigeria.
I'm a Nigerian.
I know what I'm saying. I'm saying people would not be taking that. That's your own opinion. I want you to take it that it's your own opinion.
The United Nations has a number for a particular demography. Okay? There's a demography with the age attached to it. But different people with different ages feel differently. So it's kind of difficult to define who a youth is. It's not sacrosanct.
Really?
Yes. Are you telling me? Yes, it's not sacrosanct. So how viral are you? How viral are you? What are the inputs you can make? What is the knowledge? What's your level of enthusiasm?
Hold on.
Does that make you a youth?
Give me just a moment.
Because if we are going to face this definition, we are not going to move anywhere.
Hang on, Simeon, taking. Collins, can we have you?
Okay, good. I know why I wanted I wanted to actually define. I'm not trying to.
Hello, we seem to be having a technical issue right now. Collins, can you? Okay. Collins, I think you are
for the opinion that's okay, my network.
No, you recapitulate what you said because we couldn't hear you. You were lost for a while.
Okay, sorry, a call was just disrupting my network. Okay, I was saying that the reason why I started with trying to define those areas is that I wanted a situation where everyone would understand the context for which I am making the presentations that I will be making, so that we don't, because you like I said, I started by saying that there are two I look at. I said the young people, and the other one will be the young at heart. And the young at heart will be people who are actually over the age of what United Nations defines as youth. You understand? So that's actually why I started with that, so that we have a basis for conversation, so that we don't throw the conversation left, right, and center.
Oh, exactly. That's what I was trying to say, because in Nigeria, we've turned it all around. When Simeon was actually saying, it depends on what your heart, your choice, your state of mind, and all that. I beg to disagree with you on that. Can you say the Emir Oshibajo is a youth? He's vibrant. He has all the attributes.
He has all the attributes of a youth, which young people don't have. You see, most of the Nigerian youths don't have that enthusiasm to come out. So who is a youth? A youth is an enthusiastic person.
See, excuse me. That's why please, whenever we're talking here on the public
the United Nations cannot give us ideas.
Can I say something? Hang on. You cannot load your own opinion on the majority. That's the country.
It's not my opinion. It's not my opinion. You see, we are human beings and we are Nigerians. Excuse me, may I say something? See, we are human beings and we are Nigerians. Okay. When I was younger,
you allow me moderate, please. What I'm saying is, this is one of the cankerworms that's actually written into the fabric of this country. We tend to have a definition for other people. We should respect other people's opinion and state of mind. You can speak for yourself, Simeon, but you cannot speak for the generality of Nigerian youth. You can say they're not ready, that people are younger. That's what I'm trying to say. You should just say, in my own opinion, this is my own take. You don't have a blanket.
Rather, I'm sympathetic with the Nigerian youth, because that is between the age bracket of 25, between the age bracket of 15 to 40. I sympathize because they are not given the chance. They are not given the chance to express themselves. And even if they are enthusiastic to do so, a lot of bottlenecks are there. So you don't blame the Nigerian youth. Secondly, anybody that decides to be young at heart is a youth. you cannot throw an enthusiastic person out of the whole polity because of age. Age is just a number. It's not an opinion. It's a fact. The United Nations will come with written opinions and definitions for you to follow, as if it is the basis by which you should navigate your life. And that is not true. So the Nigerian people should be able to, the Nigerian people, the Nigerian youth should be able, the Nigerian youth should be able to think out of the box. Should be able to be unconventional. That's my opinion.
Yeah. Okay, let me go to Andy. Andy, what's your own take with regards the youth in the workforce as a backbone of development? Do you believe in that, or do you disagree? What's your take?
I definitely believe that the youth are the backbone of development as the workforce, because like many people have mentioned here about the youth having enthusiasm, having that zeal, is something that is necessary to keep the workforce going. In my own organization that I run, majority of our staff, in fact, only one person isn't a young person, by definition of who a youth is. And we've seen when you're employing people, another thing you can take advantage of when you think about how people are employed is that there are opportunities for internships, NYSC. Those are the things that we kind of value. And the reason we put those people into consideration is because of the mindset that they can bring to the table. They have a fresher perspective. And with the evolution of technology, youth tend to be more receptive to technology. And with the way the world is going, you definitely need technology in your day-to-day in the work that you do. And youth are the people that are driving this technology. So I would say that, yes, they play a very significant role in our development of the workforce.
But in Nigeria, do you think that climate is actually giving them an enabling environment for them to actually soar? Because they, oftentimes, the policy you hear from the older generation, my generation is also affected, older generation is to say, wait for your turn, it's not yet your turn. My question, which is maybe Simeon wasn't getting me, is should they wait to be given their turn, or they should pave way? Because if you look at the leaders who are actually ruling the country, they led Nigeria when they were younger, when they were youth. It's just happening to have them still ruling Nigeria at this point.
So okay, let me beg your pardon at this moment.
I don't think that the youth need to wait for their turn, and we shouldn't solely focus on, while we might not be able to take positions in governance, there are other ways that we can empower ourselves and we can create an advantage for ourselves. There's a lot of the economies that we compare ourselves to are predominantly capitalist economies, and is this capitalist companies that actually drive conversation in governance. So if you position yourself in that direction as a way of engaging government, that is a different approach. And then over time, because if you keep waiting for it to be your turn, that's literally waiting for these people to die, because we have seen that the old people are not willing to relinquish power for new, fresh ideas to come into play in this country. So I wouldn't tell anybody to wait their turn. I would say take advantage of the opportunities in front of you, though there are not that many, because you were talking about an enabling environment. Even doing business in Nigeria is one of the biggest struggles anybody can engage in. It's literally a boxing match of sorts. But take advantage of your environment, seek out opportunities. Someone like myself, before I went into full employment, I actually volunteered. I was an unpaid volunteer for an organization, and it was remote work, thankfully. So I did not have to transport myself to get the job done, but they saw my level of competence and then hired me on and started paying me a salary on that job. So I think people need to also be open to opportunities that at the start of their career may not necessarily look like it's paying them. We shouldn't keep money as our primary focus, but have a plan, a trajectory where you want to be headed to, and see that that opportunity can take you there.
Okay, good, well said. I saw you smiling when she was actually making a point. But the thing is, Simeon earlier on was actually saying he doesn't actually blame the youth, but as far as I'm concerned, I will blame the youth of that country, of my country.
No.
The reason,
Okay.
I'm just questioning. The reason why
Can I make a
sorry, I'll allow you to speak. Let me finish my thoughts, please. I am saying this. I can remember when, like 2013, I wasn't in the country, but 2013, I and a colleague of mine, also a comrade, we started we decide 2015. I'm coming to that. We were like, we needed to change the government. We couldn't sit down to fold our hands and wait. We were like David, going forth to fight Goliath, the generals. Are you getting my point? I can remember when the president, when he came to Ikoyi, when he said in 2014 that he wanted to be the president, we asked him a question at Ikoyi. We said, why do you want to go back? That's the current President Muhammad Buhari, then when Jonathan was actually there. And he said he's coming to right the wrongs of what he did before. Hence, you knew what happened in 2015. But 2016, I can tell you for free, I and a comrade and some other people championed the cause. When some people were saying Buhari should not probe those looters, you could see, verify this with channel television, Saharareporters. I actually stood there and said, they should start probing for Obasanjo. I think getting my point. Like, if we should start, nobody had a gun to my head to tell me this, but I said, this is a country we have no other place to go to. Look at the Egyptian revolution, the Arab Spring, it was by the youth. I see no reason why Nigerian youth are the ones I'm blaming. Because if you are to check them, what you see them do is see them on social media, flaunting money, flaunting riches, going around girls and all of that. Is that what Nigeria is reduced to? So, Simeon, you can jump in. You can jump in. So, if they are the backbone and they make the major population of that country, so you should blame them, not on the leaders. The leaders, they've outstayed their visits, but we should focus our attention on the youth.
Okay, no doubt that the youth is the backbone for the development of any country. But it is not only am I heard?
Okay, Mr. Hamid.
Yeah. No, sorry. I would like you to let him finish. Then you can come in. You will come in and say your. What's your name, by the way?
I'm Abdurrahman Al-Khamis.
Oh, Abdurrahman, I was actually waiting for you to come on the screen, but I'm not seeing you. Could you just let him finish with his thoughts? Then I'll come back to you. Thank you.
Okay.
So, Simeon, go ahead.
Okay, as I was saying, that the youth of Nigeria do not have the enabling environment to perform these noble acts that you have just enumerated. And I want to also put it clearly that, in my own opinion, it is not only in the sphere of politics that you can change things. Youths in industrialization.
I think Andy already said that.
Youth in politics, youth in industrialism, youth in other spheres of the human endeavor in Nigeria need to show relevance, and they have to be unconventional about it. You have to be unconventional about it. You don't go by convention and think that you can wring or wrong the powers from the people that have it. Power cannot be given, it can only be taken. And you have to be unconventional about it, not in a violent manner. I don't subscribe to violence, but I subscribe to relevance. Relevance, okay? We have many of our lecturers in the university that are youths, but if you look at the atrocities committed in the universities, it's by the youth that are supposed to be the light. You see? So the youth has a lot to play, a role to play, and they have to be unconventional about it. They have to be proactive about it. They have to be inventive about it. They have to be imaginative about it. It is not by convention, but it is by doing the right things.
Simeon, taking your thoughts. Please let's allow Khamis to jump in and give us his own take. Khamis, like I earlier read on, is an entrepreneur. and he's a youth, and he will let's see, because youth actually outside of the country, Nigeria, we have many youths out there, and they are making giant strides. So, Hamid, are you coming right now? Hamid, are you still there?
No, actually, good afternoon, everybody. Sorry for coming in late. I have issues with network.
Okay.
Firstly, I know the youth have key roles in nation building. This is an undeniable fact. But the fact is, I side with Mr. Simon in saying that, yeah, the reins of power or whatsoever it's being given to the youth to give their own quota is not given to them. They take it, and there are many spheres of the society that the youth can give in their take. You must not be an elected. Okay, you must not be an elected official before you give back to your immediate society. Do you understand? The networks youths ought to have them now. The problem the youths do have is using that network to benefit their immediate communities. I will cite examples. I am from Yobe, and in Yobe we have many various youth platforms in which we believe is not necessary for us to be elected politically before we can give back to the community. In some parts of Yobe, especially Yobe North, that's Zone C of Yobe, okay, we ensure that we have a biodata of all problems being suffered by the community, and we tender such problems to our elected officials. So we serve as mediators between between the elected representatives and the masses. In certain example, which what we acted on last 2 weeks, okay, we have a complete biodata of intellectual students going to school, and they were hindered by the fact that maybe they are from poor background. We have their biodata, and we kind of present those biodata to the appropriate authority, and they do come to their aid. And when it comes to sanitizing where we live, we ensure we move, we do campaigns, clean my community. We come out en masse and clean the community.
Let me throw this question to you. You know, mostly everyone says that the youth and the northerners, basically, that they view people. That's one of the things. They view the northerners as, oh, they like taking leadership, but they don't have the educational and political will. But what you just said shows a whole lot difference, because I have actually stayed in the north. I know how the north, you can contest this, they are more politically minded than those in South and Southwest. Collins, okay, would you want to say something on that? Wait, I need you to wait. I want Collins to say something on that. Okay.
Okay. Hamid.
Yeah.
Yeah, you want me to say something about the political...
What he just said, if you are to just put the youth from the north and the youth from the southeast, you would understand that their level of orientation is quite different. Would you agree with me? Yeah. What they are actually all about is quite different from what those people. So when the election now comes in, they cry foul down south. Are you getting what I'm trying to say? There is this level of complete political awareness up north than what is obtainable down south. That's why I said you should jump in on this.
Okay, fine. Hamid, you are correct. And that is also because we have a very flawed structural political system. And the reason is this. Now, first, there are people who just, if you go up north there, it is believed that the population is very large, and the people there are feeling that if they need to get a card and then get their people in, it probably means that somebody is going to be there sending money and sharing money down there to them. They need that. But if you get down south, you will find that the people there are more Republican. Even if you send their own brother there and their brother messes up, you fight their brother, and that is what you now call that they are not united. Not exactly, because challenging yourselves is what develops a society. You don't be sheepish and you think the society will develop. So it's a problem that that particular part of the country must begin to look at, you understand, and begin to get out the best of their people out, you understand. And you know, when I started earlier, I have a few lines that I wanted to talk about. That's why I started it. I was going to talk about a few things, and when the time comes, I'll talk about young people and power, young people and economy, young people and religion, young people and tribe, young people and fact. These are things I was going to just highlight, you understand, because they are also going to touch each of these things. Because first of all, even if I take it from young people and tribe, none of us chose the tribe that we were born into. We just came out to be one. You understand? None of us chose that. Now, if while we were growing up, you understand, those days we grew up in the schooling in the north, you understand, we never knew who was Hausa, Yoruba, Calabar, or all that, whatever. The days I grew up in Ajegule, we had over 8 tribes in one compound. Do you understand? We never knew all of that. But when we started growing, the devil in us started coming into us. Exactly. Do you understand? Now, at what point did we begin to learn about these differences? You understand? Now, so you now find out that at the point of young people, not even the young at heart now, which is the old people that are causing us problems and claiming to be young at heart, you understand? At what point, how do you now redirect, how do you now redirect and refocus people? We first thought that NYC was going to create that refocus for us. But NYC has not created that refocus for us. NYC is actually a system that has turned into something that we would say those who don't have a job now, they need to actually do something to continue to remain and get something. The moment you start getting out of NYSC, you begin to feel very sad because you know that you're going to start struggling for a job without something. So the thing there is, if I am going to be hitting at Abu now, you know, me and Abu used to quarrel over some of these things. If I'm going to be hitting at him, you understand? Is Abu going to be responding to me with his bias that I am attacking him because he is Hausa or he is Fulani or he is what he is? Is he going to be looking at the fact of what I am saying? If Abu is going to also be attacking me, am I going to be looking at the fact of what he is placing? Or I'm going to be looking at it and say, look, okay, because you are this, you understand, and because your man is in power, that is why you are behaving this way. So these are things that we must begin to dissect. And the conversation, no matter how hard the conversation is, you understand, the conversation shouldn't be, I'm talking to young people, conversation shouldn't be a protracted war. It is a conversation and it is a conversation. At the end of it, you will understand the stand of the other person. So that's actually my stand. The people here are Republican. They will not take anything. They won't just accept anything. So they will tell you, look, why am I going to vote? What it concern me? How is he going to touch me? You understand? How is he going to better my life? But the other person there is saying, let me go because it's will. Okay. Go ahead.
Let me interject you there. I would like to bring Al-Hamis again, once again, because the topic of discussion is actually used to be the backbone of the economy or development of our country, Nigeria. Hamis is a young entrepreneur, and he owns a beverage company, and all Hamis does is tea. You get what I'm trying to say? He studies physiology in the university in Beijing. Hamis, can you come on air, please? I would like to. I'm throwing the question at you, Hamis.
Okay.
Please, please, I would like to have Hamis here. Hamis, are you still there,
yes,
or you've gone?
Yes. I'm here. I'm with you.
Okay, please.
I'm here. I'm with you.
Okay. The thing is this: how many? I'm with you as well. How many staff do you have, and what is the support so far you've gotten from your local community as well as your constituency?
Mr. Hamid.
Yeah. Should I reiterate myself or recap what I said to you just now with the question? Did you get the question? Did you get the question?
I think you should type the question in the message chat box so that because Kamis is having network problems.
Okay. Who is Andy there? Because Andy is also an entrepreneur. I would like Andy to respond. I'll still come back to you because you are the big wig from the oil and gas. You've actually tasted money. So I'm coming to you on the later front. Please, Andy, is Andy there?
Yes, I'm here.
Okay, Andy, what are you earlier on you pointed out that you have youth as your staff, right?
Yes.
What are the challenges you've faced setting up your own business, and what are the contributions your constituents have actually done to help out, and what are the moves you've made towards reaching out to them for them to actually be a part of it, to see what, because that's the one about you taking the fight or the battle to them, not them actually. You're waiting for them after 4 years, and I'm like, oh, we need Andy to have a cloud so we could use that for this election for campaigns. You understand? So what have you faced, and what do you think you need?
Okay, so I would say that one of the biggest challenges, I guess I already mentioned, was generally the ease of using business. But as a young person, I didn't let that stop me. I started my business when I was 25. Yes, when I was 25. And I tried to take advantage. Very funny. I'm 32 now, so 7 years I've gone by. I don't know why anybody has that perception that we shy away from telling our age. It doesn't really matter, especially.
No, you're a comrade. You're a comrade. You're a comrade. Go on.
So when I started here at 25, I had to look out for opportunities that would benefit me. And one of the biggest ones that I still give credit to the Nigerian government for was the UWIN, Youth Way Innovation and Enterprise in Nigeria. I took advantage of that platform and I was successful, and I received 10 million naira, a 10 million naira grant from the Nigerian government to support my business. And that was the biggest investment. Besides 700,000 that I had gotten from another investor, that was the biggest investment into my business. And when I was thinking around what I wanted to do as a business, I didn't want to do anything that already existed in the market or that was cliche. So I thought about what my own interests were and what I liked. And that is why I went into the field I went into. So for full disclosure for everyone here, my company is Andy's Candies and we manufacture sweets. So I'm a sweet manufacturer. So,
okay.
And I've been doing, yes. So I've been doing that for 7 years. And obviously with COVID-19, there have been issues. And so another thing, the COVID-19 support grant, I applied for it and I got it, the loan as well. So I got additional funding of 1.8 million naira this year from the Nigerian government.
Andy,
yes.
Let me stop you there. You know, our country is a very funny country. We run funny situations based on the institution. The reason I'm saying this is that people who are watching you right now would say, oh, she's just one of the lucky ones, one of the lot. Because for you to have such a grant, is it that you have maybe a godfather somewhere in government? Or how were you able? Let's begin.
I simply applied. No, I do not have, and I'm one person that I'm very particular about things being on merit, so that I can speak very openly with my chest when I want to say anything about my business and about myself. So, for example, the most recent one, the COVID-19 support, I applied via the Nesal Microfinance Bank online. I applied specifically on the 1st of June, and 7 weeks later, I got a response from the government. I don't know anybody in Nesal or anything like that. I just gave full disclosure, all the documentation that they asked for, because they asked for bank statements, they asked for what my cash inflows were, what our revenues were during the lockdown period. So I gave that full disclosure. Exactly. So I think one of the other things we have to think about is not hiding information. Like, that is why I'm speaking openly about these amounts and all of these things. So one of the most important things is
these people hoard this information from people. Because people who are not like you and Hamis will be like, how is it? Because we in diaspora share this sentiment. during this COVID lockdown, a whole lot of people back home are calling, oh, can you give me this? Can you give me that? Can you give me this? Can you give me that? Most of them do not know this grant exists because we saw on social media.
Which is why we should have conversations like this on this sort of platform. So another thing I do is I try to, so in terms of, like you said, engaging other young people, reaching constituents, by Nigerians' markings, my constituent is where I'm from, Akwa Ibom State, but my business, I am based in Abuja. My business is in Abuja. So it's my most immediate constituent will be Amak, the municipality area here. And what I do is I just try to speak. It's important that you leverage on your network and try to speak to people around you. And even beyond the work that I do, like you said, people needed things throughout the lockdown. Simply on my street, for example, there were some people that held a very big placard that said hunger virus. I can't drive by that and do nothing about it. So the influence starts from your immediate environment. So I went out, bought food, went to the market, bought food items and distributed to about 20 people that were within that compound that were looking for food to eat. So that's the one thing that everybody, it's not, even in my approach to doing business, I keep it very open with my staff. It's not primarily about me making money or making profit. It's how I'm investing in other people's lives and improving people's lives. I'm very open to my staff that if they see themselves wanting to grow beyond the organization, is a conversation they should be willing to have. And with the staff that you employ, you should invest in training opportunities for them. My staff, I engage them in customer service training and computer training. If they need any additional trainings, it's something that they can readily come to me. So it's very important that in your own sphere of influence that you do something to support people, the young people.
I think I'm going to do a documentary on you and I'm going to share it to the world and want the people in Bali to also see. Hamid, I want to go to you. Hamid, are you there right now? Because I saw you flashing in right now. Hello, Hamid?
Yes, I was having issues with network.
I can understand. We can understand what the government is actually doing and battling. And this is one of the things you people need to fight for. We need to fight for in collective. They should make these things accessible to everyone. Back up. So I threw a question you went on then. I said, when you, as an entrepreneur, you manufacture tea, how many youths have you been able to reach out to? Do you have, are you in your employ? And then your constituents, was there any help from them? And then what challenges have you been facing since you started up this company? Hamid, did you hear me? Hello?
I think his camera is frozen. I think
it is frozen. Simeon, would you like to say something to that? Because I think you're teaching to say something. Hello, Simeon. Can you hear me?
Can you hear me?
Yeah, I can hear you. I can hear you.
The youth of Nigeria, which I'm passionate about, we are first of all.
Yeah, hang on. I'll come to you, Hamid. I want Simeon to finish his, and I'll come back to you. Then I'll go back to Garba. Okay, so go on, Simeon.
Okay.
Yes, the youth in Nigeria. Okay. What the youth in Nigeria lacks is leadership training. Leadership is what the youth needs. Before you can make impact, you have to be first a leader, to be able to control, to be able to administer what you have in your hand to do. And it's not everybody that is wired to do business. Some people are wired to be administrators. Some people are wired to be something else aside business. So one's ability to do business is good, but it's not the entire yardstick of measuring who a youth should be. We have many Nigerian youths that are writers. We have many Nigerian youths that are academicians making impact abroad. We have Nigerian youths that are military personnel that are doing their best to keep us safe. So who a youth is and who is that youth as a leader? So the leadership skills that our education should be giving us is what is lacking in Nigeria, because it's so bad that in the schools we went to in Nigeria, those days are not the kind of schools we have today. They are not, the leadership that we are taught is not what is being taught today. So what do you expect is a decline, is a decay of our youthness. Let me put it that way. Grammar permits me to say our youthfulness.
I'd like to go to Biafra. And the thing is, it's the collective effort to keep all ourselves together and write a petition. The National House of Assembly is actually there. I remember Abu Maigero would attest to this. In 2016, I, and alongside some comrades, shut down the National Assembly. Occupying us. I believe everyone can remember occupying us. They thought it was going to be a joke. We started in the comfort of our homes. I started in the room. I'm like, this thing has to stop. Their jumbo salary shouldn't be the way it is. If they could be transferring those jumbo salaries to all other institutions like education, like health, and like other social infrastructure, Nigeria will be a change for it. Now, I'm going to go back to Al-Hamis. I see you now have a better reception, so I want to know your take. So, Al-Hamis, could you answer the question that I asked you the other time? Can you hear me?
Hello?
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 Yeah, speak. Oh my goodness. Abu, please unmute Al-Hamis.
No, I didn't unmute him, I think. Okay.
Okay. Can you hear me now?
Yeah, I can hear you. Good.
Can you hear me?
Yes.
Can you hear me?
Okay, the question is,
Go ahead.
yeah, I can hear you. Did you hear my question? Did you hear my question earlier on?
Hello? No, I got the question.
The question is, as an entrepreneur, what are the challenges you are facing in your business, and have you gotten any support from your constituents, and what are the support if you've gotten any?
No,
Abdul Hamid, turn off your video so that you can have good bandwidth to speak.
Al-Hamis.
I'm an entrepreneur. Hello?
Yes, go ahead.
Hello, can you hear me?
I hear you well now.
Yeah,
Okay,
I'm an entrepreneur. Okay, I'm into tea making, and it's a company that came into life. That came into life 2017. Okay, we looked around Yobi, okay, and saw what commodities we produce. So part of the commodities we produce and it's being traded in the international market is hibiscus, and hibiscus is being taken out of the country in droves. So we just told ourselves that we are cultivating this, but we don't have processing lines that process it into finished products. As such, we initiated a company that processes hibiscus. That's what we take in our homes, and Goruba Dom. If you are conversant with enough, definitely you know Goruba, Moringa, and green tea. Okay, these are jobs being taken. What?
You make Samia as well? You produce Samia?
No, we don't make Samia. We only make Zobo, Goruba, Moringa, and green tea. These are things we do. We did it with intentional attempts to ensure that Yobe is onto the map of a country that generates something for, as its own IGR. So the state government benefits from our own venture through the IGR we generate to the state government. And there is this value chain we've created.
Al-Hamis, hang on. My question is, what support have you gotten from your constituents, and what are the challenges you face? And be enumerated what challenges you face on your own part, and the grants you got, that's the support you got. What are your challenges, if any, and what are the supports you were given, if any, by the state or local government?
Okay, actually, at the state government, we've got some support, and part of our support is the fact that our tea was made Yobe tea. So it's mandated to all government agencies and parastatals to patronize the tea, so as to patronize made in Yobe products.
Good.
So as such, these have made us have much turnout, and we've reached to many customers, even outside Yobe. And you know, definitely part of our challenges that we've gotten since the start of this lockdown.
Okay.
Before lockdown, we were able to penetrate 7 states of enough, 7 good states, in which we send nothing less than 5,000 cartons a week.
Oh.
So actually, the coming of COVID-19 have impeded this the consumption of many products. Why? Because there are no much money in the hands of people. The buying power is not there. So actually, part of the challenges can be tagged as financial support. We are, after the fact that the tea was endorsed by Yoruba government, we have not received anything in cash to kind of enhance our own production. What we approach.
You hear Andy when she said that she got grants for palliative stimulus during the COVID. You didn't hear about it? Did you hear about it?
No, actually, we heard about it. We never thought it would come into fruition. That's why we've not applied it. We applied it when it was late already. We applied it just 3 weeks back. That's when we applied it. But because now I heard of Andy's submissions, God will make sure as soon as we hear anything good coming from the federal government, from any quarter of a government, we will apply it as soon as we hear about it.
Fantastic. That's one of the reasons, the benefits of this platform, this Zoom time, this meeting would snowball into a whole lot of things. Like, I'm so enthusiastic that Andy and Hamis, they're actually making us proud. And I can tell you, if you still want to have your stuff exported here in Dubai, I'll be glad to actually do something to you to be able to send have your wares also here, so people will know this is actually made in Nigeria. Nigeria here will be able to patronize that. Now, Collins, I see you smiling. You finished the first half of what you plan on educating us on this platform. So the second half, this is the turn. So you can now tell us what you also have in mind with regard the policy as having the youth play a major role in the country.
Okay, first, thanks. I mean, I was smiling because I actually excited about what I heard Kamish doing. It's very exciting, not only because it's a good business, because I'm a tea addict as well. So,
wow.
Yeah, and it's not the lacuna there, and he went for it.
So, Kamish, give me the whole of South for you.
Okay, explain. Whole of South is there for you, actually.
Okay, good. So,
Abubakar,
okay, fine.
are you not talking? Abubakar, Adamu Abubakar, why is your mind? I can see Albert here. Abubakar, you should have something to say. You guys can. So let me allow you. Abubakar, Abu, I can barely hear you. Abu, can you hear me? Abu? Okay, let's go back to Collins.
Okay, fine. Don't mind. Okay, fine. Don't mind Abu that cannot send Burkutu for me. It's just.
Actually, I wanted to expose you that tea that you like is Burkutu that you like at this time. Every Sunday.
Okay, fine. Now, I will lump everything together so that we save a lot of time. Let me talk about young people and power. Okay. We talked about young people and power. And you see, power is actually
let me tell you
not in
something.
the hands.
Let me tell you something. You know, some young people were actually in office, and to be candid with you, they didn't do all proud. So you need to work on that. Just like the Senate or the boxing senator, we need to work on this. This is one of the reasons these older generations are saying they don't want to give the youth a chance. Because the people we've actually presented, they've done nothing to write home about. Dinner is also another one.
I understand
Go on.
I understand that part. And my only answer is that people are influenced to do a lot of things, even when they get into power. Because Nigeria is structured for competitive stealing. So when people go there, they all want to steal better, you know. So young people and power. Power is grown. You grow power with strategy. You understand? And power is actually in the hands of the people. When somebody comes, when you are in your own vicinity, your society, your community, you begin to create advocacy programs. You begin to make sacrifices, and before you know it, everybody in that community knows who you are. The only thing that is now remaining for you is to get the support to go and take political leadership. So you have already grown your influence. You understand? And you already have a lot of people. So even if you want to rig, you understand, you can live better because you have grown influence. You understand? So now, that's actually how I think the young people should begin to look at growing to take this power away from these people. None of them is going to take that power away. Nigeria's money is so sweet that when you get close to it, you never want to get out of it. You understand? So then young people and economy. Let us understand.
I would agree with you on that. But it's a thing you have to be moral.
Young people and economy. I heard what Njenje said, but Njenje didn't talk about her learning process because she didn't start making sweets in one day. Njenje would have followed somebody who was making sweets. She would have seen people who was making sweets. She would have been licking and taking sweets and enjoying sweets. She would have been, so all these things are more like an apprenticeship she paid herself to do. She didn't go to any place to pay, but she paid herself. She grew the passion, she learned that. And there were times when she would eat the sweet and the sweet would run her stomach. She will now know that this type of sweet is not good. These are all part of her research process, and these are all part of the challenges that she took. So it must go through an apprenticeship process. So most people, I have two younger brothers, my three last brothers. Immediately they finished secondary school, I didn't allow them go into the university immediately because I told them that the university cannot give you what you are thinking that I got, because while I was growing, you understand, I was doing all sorts of business and all sorts of things. If they were in school together, you know how it was. You understand? Doing all sorts of things to just raise money and make money. Those were experiences I had. But they didn't have that because, one, they were going to some of the best public secondary schools and all those stuff and blah, 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 until things went off. They were withdrawn to public schools and all those like that. But after I took them to training, one into computer, into Karox to learn coding, the other to learn photography, and the other to learn ethanol, sales of ethanol. And today they are doing well and they have their degrees. They have their degrees. After 2 years, I have to tell them, look, you have to go back to the school. So it must be, and then if you go back to Onitsha.
Collins, I need to go back to, you mentioned something when we were actually growing up, and we have a structure in place. And we used to have vocational schools, vocational learning and all that. Though there are some state governments, like Lagos State has that. And that's why we have this woman, Arewa, then also now, special advisor to the president or something. And what I'm saying here is this: as youth, as Nigerian youth, it is incumbent upon us to actually do a petition. Not everyone can go to school. Our school should be put. We should have put structure of our school.
Hold on. Let us even start from the smaller ones that we can handle before we are even talking about disturbing ourselves with these guys. Their ears are blocked. You know when it's blocked, it's blocked totally. Do you understand? No. I'm telling that you must.
I'm coming to something. I'll allow you. What I said is, if we write a petition, that we want within days, and if you sign, this is one of the things we did in Amnesty International. When you write a petition, you want in all these 6 geopolitical zones, we want vocational schools. If you send a child to school and can't pass and can't get, there should be a place they would go to, which is the vocational school, to learn. Now you have people in diaspora who are educated, who have degrees, certificates. They are doing menial jobs in Dubai, in the UK, in the US, and all over Europe. Are you getting my point? Not every one of us can be educated upstairs that you have certificates. We should have some people. It was very good what you did to your younger ones by sending them to go and learn vocational skills. Is it not helping you out? They won't ask you for money again to go and pay for school fees or something. They are now entrepreneurs in their own right, and you can see the ripple effect in your family. If we can have all of this,
we have vocational institutes, we have vocational schools. Those vocational schools are handled by Industrial Training Board, Hamid. You understand? Every organization, hold on, every organization, I don't know about others, but I pay 1% of my activity to ITF on a yearly basis, and I pay 2% of my business activity to Educational Trust Fund every year. I pay 1% of my activity to Petroleum Trust Fund every year. I pay 1% of my activity to hold on. I'm saying that ITF has vocational institute, but the behavioral part of it is this. Somebody comes out of a vocational institute, you understand, and has a skill and has what it takes to do a particular job. You understand? The person does not have NYSC certificate because he's not a graduate. That person is discriminated. Have we stopped that? For the first time, Donald Trump was able to raise an executive order for that. But let me tell you something, we haven't stopped that. We want to discriminate those set of people. You understand? But those are people that have the skills. But if our system makes people understand that you grow to a particular stage. I had a friend, we were growing up together, my childhood friend, and when we wanted to go to university, and I told him, I said, look, IK, you cannot go into university now because your parents cannot afford it. Wait, when I'm in 300 level, you know, so I can hustle now, whatever. So go and learn something. Then 300 level, I will not call you. He agreed. 300, when I was 300 level, I went to myself, but it's time. Then he now took a jump and went into Unilag. You understand? At that point, he knew he was nobody's doing well. Now he knew, he agreed. So at that point, you understand? There is a conversation between people who know that there is a difference between schooling and education. So the youth,
I guess what I am saying is this: see, if the structure are on ground, not all our vocational centers are good again. I know what I'm talking about. See, I've gone to all the 36 states in Nigeria. What I'm saying is there should be a bill that would strengthen this, so that whenever anybody comes into leadership, I'm going to take your question that I'm seeing right now, it will be something you follow it. So if some people feel maybe like the next thing, instead of going to the university, the next place for you to go is vocational school and go and
yes, my point is this. I'm saying that we can push for that, but we do not need to wait for it to be able to take conscious decisions to do those things.
No, the institution, the system has to make it work. That's why I'm telling you, because once you fail your WAEC, some people are like, okay, let me repeat again. You've wasted 2 or 3 years. Once the system compels you, if you can't make it, you drop you like Brian, go to these places. We will have industries that will be built. Do we have our engineers here? Do we have our nurses, our doctors in the country fixing stuff? Some people could just come up with the
Mr. Hamid, can you hear me?
Can I make a statement?
Mr. Hamid.
I think Semyon should actually say, he wants to say something. I actually had to mute for a while. Go on ahead.
We are in a polity where we are democratic, and everybody should be able to aspire to be whatever he or she wants to be. If you fail an exam and you want to do it over and over again, it is your own cup of tea. You cannot have a policy that will corner you, okay? So as a youth in Nigeria, what Nigerian youths should be doing is to build institutions that will work after them. In Nigeria, we don't have institutions that work. And even if we do, those values of those institutions are not adhered to. For example, someone that finishes from a polytechnic with distinction is castigated against because he cannot know anything at all comparable to someone that went to the university. They are being discriminated against. In fact, a person that I went to a polytechnic before I did my degree. See, I have double degree. Listen to me.
No, that issue has been quashed.
No, it's not. It's not. I am a personal. I suffered it myself. I suffered it.
I know. I'm saying the level is.
I know what I suffered. Let me say this thing.
No,
you see?
I want for the benefit of people just listening. I'm saying the government has actually leveled it up.
It's just a statement that doesn't work. In the actual, on the field, it's not there. On the field, it is not true.
Yes.
On the field, it is not true. Okay, so because of that, I was driven to do another degree. So I have double degree as a result. Today, I'm studying something else. You see? So we need to have institutions that work and policies that are adhered to. It's not enough to have a bill. You have a bill, yes? It's there on the law. But is it working? No. How many laws are working? So I want to put it. What we as Nigerian youth should be doing is to build institutions that work.
That is why we need to change the narrative. Things shouldn't be the way they're doing it. We shouldn't be accepting that. Which is one of the things. I'm saying this. Once we have this bill, we want to change the orientation of even those people there. You said something that nobody's stopping you. But before you flout the exams, you ought to have been preparing. So if you can't make it, not everyone can make it to the university. I'm coming, not everyone. So if the institution such that, because we will know we'll need some people in the farms. If not for the pandemic, or maybe when Buhari came in, or maybe when because the splash of oil went down, people do not like to do anything with the farms. And yet we see it. It happened in England. The majority of farmers in England were from Poland, from other European nations who are actually doing that. Are you getting it? So if we are like, okay, this person doesn't know X, Y, Z, let these people go to this place and they'll be profitable. I'm saying if we have collective effort, write a bill. If she's a manufacturer, if she's at the manufacturer and we have a bill to support her, that almost all the parastatals or the schools or everyone patronize and buy our sweets. Anje's sweet will be known all over West Africa. If she even sells even Lagos alone, Lagos has over 22 million people. If she can capture even just 2 million people, do you know how many people would be employed from her? If we have structures, like you rightly said, and have the bills to support it, nobody will come. If anybody wants to go flout it with like, hey, this is written. Is it that you go out or you stay in? That is what we are trying to do.
We close the door for competitiveness. We are in a competitive society.
We have 15 minutes remaining.
We have 15 minutes to round up. Let me take
Okay, actually, I have an alternative. I want to say this from experience. Some years back, I headed a youth movement in Yobe named Global Youth Representative and Emerging Political Leaders. So there are some things that are happening around Damatru that we're not okay with. But we know definitely before we sit down with the legislators, draft a bill and get it passed, it will take a very long while. So we started with the fact that we have many refuse dumps in Damatru. So we made sure we engaged the government. We worked with Yobe Environmental Protection Agency and cleared some dumps. So, and we advertised it via the media, and who is who in Yobe saw it. And they were like, we have agencies that were mandated to make sure we have a well-sanitized environment. And that just gesture of ours made the agency to clear all the refuse dumps that were inflicting infection onto the communities. So I seriously believe if we really want to change things in this country, we have to start doing it ourselves. And I can tell you that
oh, I think we seem to be losing Tamis. Andy, I would like to have you right now.
Okay.
And we will definitely continue this conversation. Andy, your final words before we part here.
I think one of the final words I have is in relation to something that Simon said. We shouldn't limit ourselves to thinking entrepreneurship is one of the only ways that the youth can empower themselves, because there's such a thing called as intrapreneurship, that in whatever work environment that you actually find yourself, you pursue a level of excellence and push towards the growth of that organization. Like he said, not everybody can be an entrepreneur. I myself, beyond being an entrepreneur, I actually work for an organization in public procurement as well. So I think what you need to do is understand what skill sets that you have, understand where you can create value in those areas. So I saw that beyond entrepreneurship, I still had opportunity to create value in public sector and to push for the government to make the contracting processes more open, for example. So yeah, so I would say that that is one way, not limiting yourself, not putting yourself in a box.
I think we can't finish this conversation right now. I have to touch on everybody to give me their party shot. We have to continue this, and we have to make them listen, because this is not going to be an ongoing process to make sure they listen. And if they don't want to listen, we vote them out. Now, Collins, I let you have a final word. Marty, are you there? Collins, your final word.
Okay, fine. I'll end by adding also supporting what Ade said. Yes, you can have entrepreneurs in a country, in a company, and you can have entrepreneurs in an entrepreneurial organization. That's it. And also, I want us to begin to look at a country to begin to look at a situation where we make schooling and education for our young people, because that's what we are not doing. They're just going to school, but they're not getting educated.
Thank
so
you.
We need to
Simeon, over to you, Simeon.
Yeah.
Yes, I would like to also side with what my good friend Collins and every other person has said.
I'm also your friend.
That, we are all friends, yes. Yeah, leadership training is what is lacking in Nigeria. Leadership training is not about academic performance, but who is a leader? Who is a leader is someone that can move and direct people on a course. So on a course, on a path, on an ideology. So what is the youth ideology in Nigeria? What is the youth ideology in Nigeria? We need to ask ourselves and ask truthfully.
That's the time you have. Maybe we're going to continue this at a later time. This production has been powered by Njenje Media TV, and also we have Mazi Ede, we have Collins, who has been a powerhouse. Collins have not been able to get that gas money, that oil money from you. And you know what we've been talking about, and Simon has actually contributed also immensely, and they're doing us proud. Alhamis, big up to you. I'm coming to you, Abu. Abu, who is the brain behind all of this. Abu, what do you have to say before we go?
I just want to thank everyone for contributing to the success of this program. And this program is, I think, after every 2 weeks, we need to organize program like this. Like last 2 weeks, we organized a program with the topic Youth and the Future of this Country. It was a powerful discussion that time. So I would just want to thank everyone for joining us. We are running out of time.
Yeah.
And, yes, especially you, Hamid, that make the program successful. And my friend, Collins Opara, the Brukutu guy, he likes you that he so much like tea. Me, I know that he so much like burkutu, especially on Sundays.
No, Abu, let me take it from you. To wrap it up, I think this forum is going to be put in place. We are going to support one another. Alhamis, we're going to make sure that Alhamis becomes one of the biggest brands. If Simeon has stuff also that you need to offer, it is from this platform. We sell it out there. If like Andia, we are going to make Andia our own Cadbury. Are you getting my point? And the same thing applies to anybody who has anything to do there. We put it and we push it to the movers here. And from this end,
in the next 2 weeks, we're going to organize another program. We are going to look at another topic that we look like a continuation of what we have discussed now.
For us here, this end on One Nigeria platform, and we thank the Almighty for bringing it all together and making it a wonderful, wonderful session for every one of us. Until we come your way, same time in 2 weeks, I remain yours sincerely, Hamid Bakari, saying, Arrivederci. Bye-bye.
Bye-bye.